Hello and welcome to episode 4 of this Bristol Rovers career mode save. In episode 3 we saw 2 signings come in on deadline day, and today in episode 4 I've got a triple header for you, starting with a match against Bradford City away. The lineup was as follows. Devante Cole, new signing on deadline day, as you saw in the last episode, made his debut. The back four was the same as always, with Smith in goal, Billy Bowden and Stuart Sinclair on either wing once again, and then Abu Agogo and Mamadou Ndiaye in holding mids, and then John Marquis and new signing Devante Cole started up front. And as you can see, his stats are decent. You know, he's so pacey. We really needed that as well, and he's versatile. We can play on either wing, which I think is going to come in really handy. As you can see on the bench, the other new signing, £600,000 man Tyler Walker, started on the bench. Purely because John Marquis has been playing well, and he scored last match, so I wanted to keep him in the team and retain that sort of winning element, really. As you can see from the table, it was a tough game away at Bradford. You know, they've started off well. They will no doubt be aiming for a playoff place, so it was always going to be a really tough game. In the 9th minute, Lee Brown's corner is met by the head of Devante Cole, who almost has a flying start to his Bristol Rovers career with his first touch, a great header and an even better block. And as you can see, Dominic Polian absolutely loves it. Stuart Sinclair takes the resulting corner. It's cleared away easily, but only to Tom Lockyer, who loops it back out to Stuart Sinclair. Sinclair then finds Bowden with a bit of space in the middle. It's a fantastic knockdown. Devante Cole peels away from his hand brilliantly and then produces that. The only other decent chance of the first half came in the 41st minute when Dominic Polian plays a nice 1-2 with Wyke and then comes close. The 65th minute comes, and at that point I decide it's time for a change. And Ndiaye is carrying a knock, but I really don't want to take him off, so I avoid doing so. Billy Bowden comes off and Ben Brereton takes his place on the right. I swap Agogo and Sinclair and then take Agogo off and bring Harrison Dunk on in the hope of going more direct, getting more pace down the wings. Less than a minute later, Lee Brown intercepts the ball, gives it to Stuart Sinclair, who lays it off to Ndiaye, and Ndiaye finds Devante Cole's run, who can't finish, and at that point I'm thinking, oh no. The ball finds Gilead, who finds Dominic Polian's run. He goes through one-on-one, but he can't finish either. Rovers get a throw in deep in their own half. Harrison Dunk plays a nice 1-2 with Stuart Sinclair before going on a marauding run himself. He then finds Devante Cole, who's peeled away from his man lovely, and finally gets his debut goal with a really nice, exquisite finish. And it was about time, because he'd missed so many chances. Then I decide at that point, one isn't enough at this stage, I want to go for another one. Therefore, John Marquis makes way for our other new signing, Tyler Walker, who makes his debut. Not even 2 minutes later, I find myself instantly regretting that decision to stay attacking. Smith can't keep a hold of it here. The ball comes out to Chickson, who gives it away straight to Dunk. Dunk gives it straight back to him as I try to play it out. He feeds it in to Dominic Polian, who finishes exquisitely. At the end of the day, you've got to be entertaining, haven't you? Choo-choo. In all fairness, Polian had been causing me problems all game, so it was no less than what he deserved. I think the goal was always coming, to be honest. And it was a really nice finish. At that point, I go ultra attacking straight from kick-off. I feel like Bradford are there for the taking. Brereton gets the ball, lays it on the outside to Daniel Leadbitter. Leadbitter sees new signing Tyler Walker's run. He goes through on his weaker foot and misses. You just could not write this in the script. It's the 92nd minute and somehow Adam Chickson finds himself there. He plays a 1-2 with Charlie White. Chickson then gets away from Sweeney after some poor defending, but thankfully he can't finish. And at that point, the referee blows the full-time whistle, and in the end, I'm pleased with that result. You know, a 1-1 draw away at Bradford. They are also a promotion contender, so I have no problem whatsoever with that result. And just to look back on the training now, we talked about last episode what we were going to do. In the end, this is what I opted to do. Tyler Walker had the free space, which was freed up by Ellis Harrison's transfer away. And then I swapped Ryan Sweeney for Devante Cole, because obviously Sweeney's on loan. So I don't want to be training him if he's going to end up going back to Stoke and not play. Into the next match, we have Walsall at home. And Walsall were actually low down in the table, so I was expecting to win this as well. I thought it should have been comfortable. And in terms of the lineup, same back four and goalkeeper as usual. This time Undayi and Sinclair in the centre, and Dunk and Byron Moore out on the wings. And then John Marquise and Devante Cole once again starting up front. As alluded to just, Walsall were 21st in the table, only one win so far this season, so especially being at home, we had to be looking to beat them. In the 11th minute, Lee Brown loops across in and some synchronised heading from Undayi, and Marquise doesn't help us score a goal. Once again, Lee Brown finds some space on the left hand side, he crosses it in, it's a nice touch from John Marquise, lets the shot go, but it's a good save from the goalkeeper. The ball is then cleared out to Daniel Leadbitter, who gives it to Undayi. Cole drops off, he finds some space, has a shot, but produces that. Once again, Lee Brown, who's having a worldie of a game at this point, wins the ball. He finds lots of space, puts a marauding run down the left-hand side, lays it off to Cole. Cole does a little shimmy onto his right foot, crosses it in, and John Marquise is there to nod the ball home. And inside 32 minutes, it is 1-0 to Bristol Rovers. Lots of credit has to go to Lee Brown for this goal as well. He was brilliant all game. In fact, he's been really good all season. He finds so much space, he's strong, he's got a bit of pace, it's high 70s I believe, and his crosses are excellent. And once again, he has a part to play in the goal, but it's all about the cross and the nodding as well. And John Marquise gets his third goal of the season. In the second half, Daniel Leadbitter finds some space in the middle, lays it off to Cole, who once again has dropped off, turns his man, but once again cannot find the back of the net. Walsall finally have something to shout about in the game. Ball comes to a guy, he lays it off to Oztumo, who finds Bakayoko, who's free, and Walsall finally get the equaliser. And I can't show you the replay because I got a bit frustrated at that point and skipped it. But in all fairness, it was a really nice goal. More luck for Walsall as Oztumo crosses the ball in, finds a guy over on the far side, but it is headed out, and then drastic changes are made. A triple sub is made. Ben Brereton comes on the right for Byron Moore, then Tyler Walker comes on for John Marquise, and Abu Agogo goes on to the left hand side for Harrison Dunk as I decide enough is enough. Undayi powers through the middle. He finds Devante Cole just outside the box. Cole lays it off to Abu Agogo, who crosses it in for Ben Brereton, and straight away Bristol Rovers are back in the lead. It is a tactical masterclass from Bromo 18 as both the subs are involved in the goal. Thank you. Nothing much happens after that 85th minute goal really, which means Ben Brereton's header is the winner and the ref blows for full time. which, despite the fact it wasn't convincing, it is 3 points, which meant that we retained our position at second in the table, which was delightful for me to see. And as you can see, it was just Wigan Athletic above us who were unbeaten, which was understandably so. You know, they would obviously be gunning for promotion, having been relegated last season. They've conceded the least in the league along with Bristol Rovers, but they have scored the most, so obviously they're a force to be reckoned with this season, and it's going to be challenged. Blackburn Rovers also up there, understandably so. Bury, MK Dons and Shrewsbury as well, with Bradford, Wimbledon, Scunthorpe, Plymouth and Portsmouth and Southend, all making up the numbers just outside. Our next game saw us play Oldham at home. Once again, I felt like we should be winning this game, and the lineup was the same one that finished the game in the end, but with a slight turn. This time Harrison Dunk retained his place and Agogo went into the centre in place of Stuart Sinclair. Ben Brereton on the right hand side, Marquise Cole up front, and the defence remained the same. It's been really solid, that defence so far for me this season, and the goalkeeper as well. And it's great to see that it's the core of Bristol Rovers players as well. In the 8th minute, Daniel Ledbetter gets the ball. He crosses it in. Devante Cole, it's a lovely finish, and straight away we're off the mark. And once again, it is that man, Devante Cole, who is, despite the fact he's missed a few chances, he's always in the right positions and he's always making a nuisance of himself, just like he did in the Fleetwood game against us. So, you know, that's why we signed him, and hopefully much more of that to come. The 25-minute mark comes and goes. Lee Brown sends an over-the-top ball to Harrison Dunk, who crosses it in. Brereton finds it, who's coming from the right-hand side, but his header goes wide. In the 39th minute, an over-the-top ball is sent through to Owen Doyle. Lockyer shows great strength, but for some reason I tried to play it out and it really doesn't work, and somehow Oldham do not score this. We get away with one there. From the resulting goal kick, I don't learn my lesson, try to play out again, and once again it is Lockyer who plays the dodgy ball. It's intercepted. Courtney Duffus sends through Owen Doyle, who turns Sweeney fantastically but can't finish, and once again we get away with it. Ball comes to Devante Cole in stoppage time, turns his man. He gives it to John Marquise, who also turns his man brilliantly, takes a pop, it's a good save, and then Brereton's shot is well. We get a free kick early on in the second half, and as you can see here, I'm looking through my players who can take a free kick, and none of them can really. Lee Brown is the best. So therefore, I decide to change it about a bit. I add the second man, lay it off to Lee Brown, who takes a pop, and it is a good save from the goalkeeper, and Oldham clear it. Devante Cole finds some space in the middle. He goes on a run. Feels like he's going to take on the world. Great strength shown here, and then comes very unlucky with the shot on his weaker foot. Despite some poor defending from myself, it is fantastic play from Oldham at this point. They play the ball around really well, and he gets the goal that he deserves. I know my defending looks bad from these highlights that I show, but actually we do defend quite well. It's just momentary lapses of concentration, momentary, you know, mistakes made, and that's what costs us goals, which, you know, need to be eradicated. But at the same time, the team is still defending well as a unit. We have the two bags of forward, the defence is brilliant, so it's just one of those things you're going to concede at some point. The General has the ball in the middle. He lays it off to Abu Agogo. Agogo then sees Marquise in a small bit of space. Marquise, after a touch, lets one rip, and it's a good save from the goalkeeper. Then I'll make some substitutions. John Marquise actually comes off for the new signing Tyler Walker, and then Billy Bowden comes on for Harrison Dunk. With his first touch, Billy Bowden takes the corner. Lockyer's there on the receiving end, and it is a bullet header. It is 2-1. And after so much running about, he finally wheels away in celebration. In the 89th minute, we have a throw-in in our own half. Abu Agogo finds the ball and just runs and runs and runs and runs. Sees Tyler Walker in space on his left foot. Walker slots home for his first goal of his Bristol Rovers campaign. And finally, the new signing is off the mark. And on that note, it is game, set and match Bristol Rovers. That led to full time in the end, and the win was finally more convincing than some of the ones we've had in the past, especially that Walsall one. But nonetheless, the 3 points are still the 3 points, and as a result, we were still second in the table. The league table, as you see here, pretty much the same as what it was beforehand. Wigan still top, still unbeaten, although they did draw, which meant we were just 1 point off them. Blackburn, Bury, MK Dons and Shrewsbury still in the playoffs. And it's tight up there, to be fair. As you can see, there's not a lot in it at the moment, which is pretty much characteristic of the start of a Football League season. So all to play for. And at the bottom, on a side note, Gillingham are having a woeful time of it. Only 1 point since the start of the season began. And there's a long way to go for them as well. But for us, it's looking great. It's fantastic. I didn't expect us to be doing this well, to be fair. Neither did the board or the fans. So hopefully we can keep this going because I think it can have potential to be a very exciting season. In terms of the next episode, what a clash we have to start. Away against top of the league, Wigan. First versus second. Without a doubt, that will be on the episode. And also Blackpool at home afterwards. We do have Portsmouth away then. But I might leave that until the episode after, seeing as Fratton Park is on the game, etc. You know, I might want to turn that into an episode, but we'll see anyway. But make sure you tune into next episode. First versus second, Wigan Athletic. What a clash that promises to be. But on that note, it is time to sign off now. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it till the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you're not already, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a dislike on the video if you didn't enjoy it and tell me what I can do to improve. Any feedback is appreciated. On that note, I've been Brad18 and thank you very much for watching.